Hello, good afternoon folks, Steve here. I'm just going to do a quick video. It's a what's come in combined what I've been listening to in the last few days type video. I said in my last video that I wasn't going to buy any stuff. Next day I did. I'm not commenting on that one, but you know, this is how it is with record collecting. It's a drug. You know, you cannot stop buying. The first item, without further ado, there's quite a lot to show today, which is unusual for me. Metal Mickey, I love you to bits, mate, but you're encouraging me the bad ways. The reason why is he went on his last video, went to a charity shop and did very well, and he got a couple of original Led Zeppelins. And I watched, I think it was yesterday's film, he uploaded it. And I went out for my breakfast this morning, so it's like once a week here we go out for a breakfast, and save me doing it tomorrow because there's no football on this weekend anyway worth watching except for on Sunday. So I thought I'd call past the shop and pulled me Holy Grail, or one of them, and it was a CD I've been after for literally years, and I could not believe it. I was well shaken. Plus I picked up a couple of nice ones anyway, so I thought I'd show them first. And this is the first one. This is the second one. I don't think it's the original box, I might be wrong. I pulled one of these a couple of weeks ago in down south. This is the Guns N' Roses best of one. I shan't dwell on that one, but for 99p, who would leave it in a charity shop? My next one is a different sort of Thin Lizzy, one of these compilation albums. Pulled one of them the other week, but it's totally different. For 99p again, that's what you get on it. Who's going to moan at that price? Now, the good stuff. Well, the previous stuff was good, but this is what the chefs call, is it the fillet mignon or fillet steak of the hunt. And Greg the Egg. This is one for you, mate. I know you'd like this one. AC/DC, 99p. The last one I used to own this CD on was on tape. I don't think I've ever owned it on CD or vinyl, or I might be wrong. I might have it on vinyl, I don't know. But my eyes nearly popped out my head. Just a brilliant find this morning. Had a bit of a palaver with it as well because the CD got lost, and this lady, the fact that, you know, she had to search for it, apparently got put in the wrong envelope, cardboard thing, and she searched it out in the end. But yeah, this is AC/DC's Who Made Who. Got some cracking songs on there. Hell's Bells, Shake Your Foundations, for those about to salute. Can't go wrong with that record, really good. Now, the Piece de la Resistance, and my eyes popped out of my head for 99p. I have been after this record for ages. If you want to buy it on vinyl, forget it. It's a 40-50 quid record. I picked it up on a CD, but what makes it so good is on the original. This is an original or very close to it, and this band's called Ugly Kid Joe. They originated from America, California, and I've been after this CD for ages. What was happening was, when the grunge started in 91, around about the early 90s, there were a lot of rock and metal bands. They sort of got swept away, and Ugly Kid Joe was one of them. This is so good, this record. The big song is Everything About You, but that was, I think, the single off it. But you also got Cats in the Cradle, Panhandling Prince. There's all good tracks on this. But I have been after this record for so long now, and I've never ever come across it in a record shop, and I just can't believe I come across it in a converter shop for 99p. I think they reissued it, I may be wrong, but it's an original. You can see by the thing down the side. That'll probably set you back over a tenner if you wanted to buy it, but I'm not going to sell it because it took me years to find out. But that's the track listing off it anyway. But if you ever get a chance to pick this record up, please do. You won't regret it. It's just a killer record. But sadly, as I said, when all the grungy stuff was coming, a lot of the rocks did suffer, and unfortunately Ugly Kid Joe fits into that category. But yeah, I'm even going to give it a kiss. That's how much I love it. Just couldn't believe when I saw this. Now, Metal Mickey again. I got this, and Contracting Blood. In fact, I'm lying, it was Scott Waters. He told me about it ages ago, and it sort of got swept aside a bit, you know, with my life going down south and that sort of stuff. But I actually got round to picking a copy up. This is the book, and it cost me about 11 quid. I've had a glance through it, and it's absolutely brilliant, and it tells you about all the British thrash bands, where they came from. Metal Mickey's already talked about it, so I won't dwell on the subject. But where you've got to be careful, I've also picked up the CD box set to go with it. Now, that is going to be very, very, very expensive. I purchased a used one, and I got it at a decent price. The CD box set will set you anywhere up to between 30 and 70 quid. You have to seriously shop around for it. Otherwise, I mean, if you can afford 30 or 70, up to 70 quid, fair enough. But you're going to have to shop around for it. But luckily, that comes next week. But yeah, this is Contracting Blood. If you're into British thrash, this is essential reading. I've just started reading it myself. And that's amazing, because I didn't know I could read. That was a joke. Now, this pile is what I've been listening to. The record I've been listening to is one that Rennie sent me, Evasion. I hope I pronounced that right. This is Spanish power metal or heavy metal. If you're into Iron Maiden, you'll love this band. It's got, you can tell it's Spanish straight away, but it's a cracking CD. I really enjoyed this CD. A lot of Iron Maiden riffs I noticed, and drum beats. You think that's Nico McBain was playing that, but don't let that take away from it. It is a really good record. I enjoyed it. Thanks, Ronnie, for sending me that out. Absolutely brilliant. Another record I listened to was Megadeth's. This album really, really does it for me. It's called United Abominations, and it's got a killer intro. And I really enjoyed this record. Phenomenal. Really, really good. So that was the other one I played. Another record I played was Tokyo Blades. This is their latest record out last year, 18, Unbroken. This is a 10 out of 10 album. Not a bad track on this record. If you haven't got it in the collection, buy it. It is just so good. It's a killer record. I played it 4 or 5 times since you last saw me, and I can't get enough of this record, believe you me. Another record I've been playing a lot is Cheap Trick. This is like a compilation, the very best of Cheap Trick. Another band I like. Greg the Egg informed me that he's actually saw him in the 70s, and yeah, you just can't get enough of Cheap Trick. If you're into the 70s stuff, this is one for you. But I've been playing that a lot as well recently. Another record I've been playing a lot is Sabotage. This is an original by that as well, which was very close to it, on the Atlantic label. You can see the track listing, but again, I'm not going to talk about too much because time. But yeah, this Sabotage record, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. It also holds the world record for me, because if you look back to, I think it's my first 5 videos, I do own a copy on vinyl, and that took me years to get hold of a copy of one of them. It's probably, I finally got myself a copy at a decent price. But that record, you had more chance of probably marrying Jessica Alba or Angelina Jolie, and that's what I thought anyway, finding that record. And I finally did, and it took me years, so I'm really, really chuffed I got this record in the collection. Another record I've been listening to, this is one of Rock's or Retroactive records, is Killed by Cain. This is a 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 album. The singer's got a distinctive voice. It's just an amazing, amazing record. I love it to bits. I don't know much about the band, but it's just brilliant. Get it. It's Christian, by the way. Now, another record that came through the post. This one doesn't count because I ordered it a couple of weeks ago. A company you want to go to, if you're in the UK, if you're not fully aware, is soundmass.com. What you do is they're carrying a lot of the stuff you see Scott hold up in his videos. Salmas has, for us English lads and the European lads, the postage is a lot cheaper. Instead of going direct to Retro or Boons and stuff, you'll get the stuff at Salmas. They've got a great list. And I saw this record on War God's channel and it sounded good. Wasn't my intention to buy it, but it was it just sounded so good when he was playing it, and that's this one, No Other God. Again, I haven't played it yet. I've heard excerpts last night on YouTube, and what I've heard, it sounds really, really good. And also, they sent me a pin as well, so that's the record as well, and that's the track listing. And I also got a pin to go with it. That was nice of them. You'll have to take the word for it. That's it there. It's the same as the record cover. I'll pull that out in a minute. Now, only a vinyl album I've been listening to is this record, and this I've owned since when it came out, and that's Wrathchild America. Because what happened was, if my memory serves me right, there was a Wrathchild England. There was an English Wrathchild, an American Wrathchild. Whether it went to court or I don't know, but that's why they had to put the America on the end. Also, I was talking to a lad on Facebook, and this record was released in 1989. According to him, it was actually recorded, scheduled for release in 87. But apparently the group tried to pull it, because the record after this they did was a record called 3D, and that was more their sound. This record is a very, very good first album, but it's not a brilliant album. You can tell what it is. It's a band trying to find its way. If you look on Discogs, it's billed as a thrash album. But only, to be honest, only a first sort of like side I would call a thrash album. On the second side, I would not call it thrash. A song like Candy from a Madman, Silent Darkness, and Time, which is a Pink Floyd cover. It's not bad, but it's not an all-out thrash album. But as I said, it's a band that was trying to find its way. That's the track listing. And that's probably how much I paid for it, £3.49. And when I looked on Discogs, I want you to buy 3D, and it's not a cheap record. You're looking at about 60 quid. And when I found out how much this one goes for, my eyes nearly popped out my head again. I've got no chance of getting 3D probably, but this record is sufficient for me. It's just a really, really good record. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Another reason why I pulled it out, because Metal Theologian Aaron, he was listening to it as well. And it was funny because when I pulled this one out because I wanted to listen to it, and it was right at the front of me pile. And a couple of days later I was watching Metal Theologian Aaron, and he showed it in his last video. And I just thought I'd show my copy and talk about it. It's funny how it works when the VC, when we each pull out records, we both listen to simultaneously. I wish I was a betting man, because I could have got some serious odds when that happened. What's the odds of two people, one living in America and one living in Britain, listening to the same record at the same time? But anyway, folks, I've gone on a bit longer than I normally would. I hope you've enjoyed this offering, and I just want to say peace and love in the world. And I hope Reading win this Saturday. We're playing Wigan, and it's very, very important to us. But I shall be staying at home. I've had my excitement this morning. I'm going to have to pack up this record collecting, because it's getting my heart too much. One of these days they'll be pulling me off a record store or a charity shop. Heart attack. I won't be able to take the stress anymore. But anyway, folks, have fun, and I'm going.